Hello, my name is Bhargavi Raval and I am a fashion mentor. In this video, I'll be talking about different kind of skirts. Now, of course, as a designer, you all know the basic skirts, you all know different kind of skirts, you all know the name of the skirt. But it is not enough. You need to know the construction part of it also. You need to know how much fabric is consumed in this particular skirt. You need to know, is it cut on a bias grain line or a vertical grain line or a horizontal grain line. You need to know all the terminology. You need to know what is a basque, what is a knife pleat, what is accordion pleat, right? So this video, I'm going to teach you in-depth knowledge about all the different kind of skirts. Okay, so before we start understanding what are the different kind of skirt, let us understand what is vertical grain line, bias grain line and a horizontal grain line. Most of the time, the skirt are cut on these grain line. That means it runs parallel to the selvage. This is called as a selvage. So most of the fabrics, the skirts are cut in this formation. The bias grain line. What do you mean by bias grain line? The diagonal line. Now again, understand, each fabric has a different fall. Each fabric reacts differently. Each fabric has a different stretch. Now if you see, the bias is the fabric which stretches the more. So whenever a garment is cut on a bias grain line, the stretchability is more. If you could see the vertical grain line and the horizontal grain line, vertical grain line has very less pull. That's the reason most of the garments are cut on this grain. The belts and the cuffs and the collars are usually cut on the horizontal grain line. If you could see, there is slightly stretchability, but when you come to the bias grain line, that is the diagonal grain line, the diagonal line, right? If this is my horizontal and this is my vertical, this is my diagonal. So my diagonal grain line, the fabric stretches the most. So anytime, like a chudidar is always cut on a bias grain line, an umbrella skirt is cut on a bias grain line, chudidar sleeves are cut on a bias grain line. So whenever you want a fabric to stretch, it is always cut on a bias grain line. Understanding the grain line is the most crucial part as a designer, to know how your fabric is going to react. Then coming to the construction part of it. So let's learn how to illustrate also. Starting first with an umbrella skirt. As I said, it is cut on a bias grain line. While illustrating, understand, whenever you make a belt, it has to be circular. Try to give the edge and the hemline. Hemline would also go slightly curvy. Now it depends upon if it's a single umbrella, double umbrella. The umbrella skirt is also known as a circular skirt. Now as you can see in this photograph also, you can make a 1/4 umbrella, you can make a half umbrella, or you can have a full umbrella. Now check out, whenever you do a hemline, you always make it in a curvature. Your crease lines, the lines which you are picking up from the hemline, has to be radiating from the let's say nape of the neck, right? So that is very important. Again, if it's a full umbrella, the crease line will be comparatively more. It also depends upon the fabric. If the umbrella skirt is made up of a chiffon fabric, in that case you can even go for a 4 umbrella or a 5 umbrella. Coming to the gathered skirt. Now this is usually cut on a vertical grain line. Usually it is twice the length. That's a fabric consumption. That's a calculation you do. Now again, as I said, it depends upon the fabric. If the fabric is soft, you can go 4 to 5 lengths also. That means you'll add more gathers, right? Then you can have this layered skirt also. Now again, the way you do your layered skirt will different. It could be triad skirt, it could be layered skirt. Let me start first with the layered skirt. When I say layered skirt, they are like 2 layers of skirts. Now it could be 2 umbrella skirt. Now this one I am making it as a 2 umbrella skirt. So again, this is cut on a bias grain line, and you pick up the lines accordingly. So starting with the coloring, here I have used regular brush pens. They are Dom's and Camlin's brush pen, and I am giving 1 layer of it and slightly few darker points. Similarly for this skirt also, I am just using regular brush pens and giving 1 layer of it. After that, what I do is I give shading with the help of Stedtler colors. So here I have used a darker green color. As always, edges are always darker, so I'm giving a darker tone at the edge. What I'm doing is also the crease lines which are supposed to be darker, I'm giving the shading with the Stedtler colors. So that's about it. Just slight shading here and there and your skirt is almost ready. Now since it's an umbrella skirt, you do not have gathers at the belt, so you will not draw crease lines over there. Your crease lines are towards the hemline, so you do the shading accordingly. Again, your illustration has to be self-explanatory, so looking at it, you know what kind of fabric it is. Doesn't look like a soft fabric, the crease lines are less, so it is slightly like a taffeta or a cotton silk or a thick satin, not the soft satin. Again, the darker tones and the lighter tones also depicts the shine of the fabric. Is the fabric shiny or is it a matte fabric? So all this thing could be explained in your illustration, right? Coming to the Stedtler colors. Now, the first two sketch I have used the base of a brush pen, but here I am showing you how to do it completely with a Stedtler color. Now, if I want to give a yellow color, what I am using are three colors. One is the light yellow, second is the orange, and that is a mild dark yellow, and then a bit of touch of orange. So that's my third color what I've used. I work in segments, that means I'm doing one full crease line. The fall of that skirt is illustrated accordingly. My crease lines are radiating from almost the nape of the neck, so that is also important when you're illustrating. Don't make your crease line go in different direction. You need to have a radiating crease line. As you can see, I'm slowly merging the shades, starting with lighter and adding the darker tones. Giving the lighter tones all over, spreading out with the light yellow color uh, below the crease lines. The shadow, depending upon the light, below the crease lines are always darker, and that's how you blend it. So while illustrating, please pay attention to your crease lines. That's how you make your illustration more realistic. Okay, if you're doing an umbrella skirt, since it is on a bias grain line, while you're actually making an umbrella skirt, always pay attention to the fall. It is always advisable to hang your skirt overnight before you do the hemming, because because it is on a bias grain line, there are certain fabrics which are going to pull, and if it's a satin fabric or slightly heavier fabric, the hemline would become very wavy. So hang it overnight for 20, like for almost 10 hours, and then do your hemming. Then you do your bidding. Now the gathered skirt. Over here also, as you can see, I'm starting with the lighter tone. That is my light green color. I'm working with only three colors. That is my light color, my medium tone, and my dark tone. So starting first with the lighter tones, I'm giving the edges. Now since it's a gathered skirt, you will have the crease lines at the belt also. In umbrella skirt, we did not have the crease line at the belt. But if you're doing a gathered skirt, you will have a crease line at the belt. While designing, you need to know that if you're making a skirt, what kind of flare, how do you incline to incorporate the flare? Do you want to do it with gathered style? Do you want to do cullies or the panel skirt, or you want to do it in a bias way? So construction of the garment is very important for a designer. Up till and until you don't know what are the different skirts and how they are drafted, how will you ever design these kind of stuff? And the construction, that is very important. To design something, you need to know the basics, right? So please, if you want to pursue a career in fashion designing, please get your drafting and cutting and stitching knowledge. Your technical knowledge has to be in depth. very very important. Otherwise there are many people who are picking up the fabric, going to a tailor, showing them the photograph and telling them अच्छा मास्टर जी ऐसा बना दो, but ऐसे थोड़ी ना डिज़ाइनर बनते हैं. If you are a designer, you need to know all the methods of construction also. ठीक है. So this is how you will draw a gathered skirt. For gathered skirt, your belt will always have the crease lines, right? The flare is incorporated by giving the 5-number stitch. That's what we call the gathered stitch. Of course there are different ways of adding the fluffiness. You can give pleats also, but again you need to know the difference between a gathers and a pleat, how it is constructed, when that is important. Coming to the layered skirt. Now there are different kind of layered skirt. There are layered skirt, there are triad skirt, there could be 2 layer, there could be 3 layer, any which ways. So here I've done an umbrella layer. Now it could be a gathered layer also. See, so as a designer you should know how you're going to, it's not only that okay layered skirt means only 2 layers. There's so many methods of doing layers. You can have, like as I said, in bias on an umbrella layer, you can have gathered layer, you can have pleat layered, you can have a combination of 3-4 layers. So it's very interesting to be designer, and especially if you know your technical knowledge correct. Anyways, so this is how I'm doing the shading. I started with a lighter tone. Below the crease lines are always darker because it's a umbrella or a bias flare. Crease lines are not reaching the belt. The crease lines are more towards the hemline. The gathers are not illustrated at the belt. And here again the shading, lighter tone, understanding where the darker tones are going to be, blending it nicely. This is my second tone. Here I've used a green color, and my dark tone I've used a black color. Below the crease lines are darker. The shadow of the first layer is going to be falling on the second layer, so I'll make that part also darker. Understand how the shades are going, how the crease lines are falling, the waves created. So all this is very important to learn. I hope you're enjoying watching this video. uh, I'm going to make many videos only on skirts, and then I will make few videos on sleeves also. But if you want me to make videos, I want you all to write a comment below so that I know I'm reaching the right audience and you are interested in learning from me, right? So till then, bye bye. Subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, because every time I make a video, you will get a notification. There are many skirts. The next video I might be doing trumpet skirt, panel skirt, uh, fishtail, flamingo, right? Till then, bye bye. Keep practicing.